Paranormal anomalies set out on this journey with one goal: to unravel the veil of the paranormal, with investigating places like Lakeside Cemetery, where in the 1970s a flood raised coffins from the ground, the Palmer Hotel, known by many, or the web of tales of the missing girl lost near Hoyt Lakes Memorial Cemetery. The Boyd House, located in Boyd, Minnesota. This location has much history. Little Swan Cemetery, near Hibbing, Minnesota. Its name says it all. The residential apartment building that for decades only housed the elderly. And last but not least, Lakeview Cemetery, Buell, Minnesota, said to be one of the most haunted locations in the state. These are our findings.
Hey everybody, Mike and Jimmy here with Paranormal Anomalies. So we are going to dive in this evening to our first of 7 episodes from our paranormal investigations this summer. And let me tell you, it's been a heck of a ride.
And let me tell you, it has been. By Wabick was very interesting. We'll get to that. The Palmer House was also pretty interesting. Boyd House. Ooh, let me tell you. I mean, all the emotions we have felt, all the things that we have done to get here. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's been a struggle on and off all summer, just trying to make these investigations. And when we had scheduled them, trying to make sure that they actually happened was really hard. It seemed like we were always up against the wall. It seemed like there was always some sort of unknown force against us, not allowing us to be able to go out there and make this happen.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, with even with work, our
lives.
Yeah. And then, man, those unseen forces, let me tell you, you hit the wrong one, man.
So we had one investigation this summer, and you guys will be getting to see the evidence later on during the season. It was pretty impactful for all members. We actually had a few members
quit. They just left.
But. Yeah. It was pretty interesting, and say the least.
So this evening, we are going to review the Little Swan Cemetery investigation material with you.
We had minimal expectations of this little cemetery, but it delivered in a big way.
There is internet lore and stories from the locals. They had contacted us and asked us to check the cemetery out and wanted us to do an investigation.
We did go to this location prior, and it turned up some interesting evidence, as you've seen from the sneak peeks. So we scheduled a full nighttime investigation at this location, and we went back.
So in this next clip, you see us moving throughout the cemetery. We are using our night cameras, EVP, portable SLS, and the Sony. And as we are reviewing some of these pictures on the Sony, we captured this. So as you see in front of me, there is a dominant orb.
So after seeing that dominant orb, Jimmy and I took the night vision cameras, we moved them over to this area. We started kind of getting our bearings and looking around, and kind of took a few more shots with the Sony. And as you can see, I have the portable SLS, and I'm start to move about. And as I'm moving about, I captured a SLS hit on the ground. And there was nothing in the area at all. You can see in the video Jimmy's showing you. There's no tombstones, no low-lying tombstones, no nothing. So it was really interesting. And with a SLS camera, these are designed to pick up on the outline of the human being. So they can get a lot of false hits on different things, tombstones, bushes, lots of different things that have been discussed throughout the paranormal world. As you can see here in this video, this SLS hit on bare ground, bare grass, nothing around it. It was really shocking. So as you can see in this video, it's a human-like SLS capture that appears to be lying on the ground. If you've watched SLS footage in the past, it resembles that of someone getting up off the floor.
So we decided to start backing up the SLS because we did not want to lose the evidence that we just captured. We then tried to see what else we could find in the area, but all we got was some pretty orbs.
The portable SLS even went cold. Like Jimmy said, the Sony camera wasn't hitting on anything. So Jimmy and I started talking about what area of the cemetery we were going to move to next. I started reviewing the pictures from the Sony and noticed this weird pink light anomaly off in the distance.
So we collected the equipment and moved towards that location.
Taking a shot. I just had something really weird. A weird anomaly just to the back and above the tree. EVP number 2, recorder number 2. Is there anything here that would like to speak with us? Holy fuck. You got a flashlight on you? Yeah. What's up? I gotta make sure this isn't part of the view.
This is the anomaly that triggered my holy F comment. This weird orange light rod.
So if you haven't noticed up until this point, the weird light anomaly that manifested in the upper left part of the tree.
Jimmy and I did not notice this anomaly until we came across it in review.
As you can see, Mike and I are trying to debunk this anomaly, but we cannot come up with a reasonable explanation for the situation.
We are going to let the video play out so you can see this anomaly for yourself.
So here at this point, the light anomaly toyed with us, and we are not able to come up with a reason of why. As you see from the video, the flash of the camera does not make the anomaly appear. We tried to debunk it and came up with it's an anomaly.
Collaborating on that even further, it didn't matter if a flashlight passed over it or the portable SLS lights were passing over it. The tree with this light had no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. You know, the Sony handheld capture we got on it with that weird orange light anomaly that we showed you a little prior, we are at a loss of words with this.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's just how do you explain that? It's just there.
Yeah. So if you folks have anything that you can give us input on, we'd truly appreciate it. Please send it to Paranormal Anomalies or comment on the video below.
So at this part in the investigation, things started to slow down. So we decided to relocate to the northeast part of the cemetery.
I collected the 4K and portable SLS. Jimmy grabbed the 2.7K camera, and we made our way.
We picked a spot. As you see in the video, I'm standing in the middle of a clearing. While we are in these cemeteries, we always respect everyone's last resting place. We do not walk over the dead. We do this out of respect for them and their loved ones.
And in this clip, you can see I'm kind of going off camera here a little bit, and I'm going to pull up the portable SLS. And as I do, we catch this entity at Jimmy's feet. This is the screen capture of that SLS entity we caught down by Jimmy's feet. As you can see, it's kind of laying down and or maybe kind of sitting up. It's kind of hard to say, but it manifested and it stayed up there for a good 20-30 seconds. And as you can see in this clip, it's quite interesting because there's nothing in front of Jimmy and no other reason for this.
So after everything that has happened in the investigation, at this point I just needed to take a picture of Mike. And then I reviewed the picture, and I was at a loss for words because I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, Mike, you need to check this out.
And when I took a look at it, I couldn't believe what I seen. As you can see, there is somebody peeking over my right shoulder. This piece of evidence, we had no idea at first what we were looking at. At first, we thought it was run. And then after looking at it in further detail, we realized we had something we didn't really have a good explanation for. So we brought it to the internet. We brought it to Facebook. We gave it to people that are professionals in the field of paranormal. And the consensus was this was a paranormal anomaly.
So I take a seat. I'm trying to level with what's around. After that picture and after the SLS capture, I'm just trying to get an EVP session with it. There wasn't too much more with that, unfortunately.
We tried to keep going on with the portable SLS, and as you can see, the night vision cameras were still going and rolling the entire time. And at first we thought everything was kind of slowing down. It was kind of going cold on us.
And at that moment, I started to feel heavy. I felt cold. At that moment, Mike himself was starting to feel actually pretty warm. So in this moment, I feel like this pressure is just like surrounding me.
Then bang, this pops up on the portable SLS camera. An entity appears to be sitting right next to Jimmy. And this goes on for quite a few seconds. And during that time, both Jimmy and I could feel fluctuations in the temperature. And it just felt really crazy, the different amount of energies going on.
So as I'm sitting here, I take another picture. And in this picture, I find this weird pink light anomaly. Mike didn't know that it was right behind him, but in this picture, it is awesome.
You can see the pink anomaly over my right shoulder. So with continuously catching these paranomalies, Jimmy and I keep going. We decide maybe it's time for us to look at some different angles. Maybe we swap some cameras around. Maybe I take the Sony for a little bit. Maybe he takes a portable SLS. So as you can see, I'm talking with Jimmy here, and we're trying to also go over our EVP recorder to see if we might have caught anything. And it just seemed like the EVP recorders were not hitting on very much this evening.
Which is unfortunate for this investigation, but you know, it's just how it is when you do the paranormal.
It is. Sometimes it's hit and miss.
So upon further review, we noticed this other anomaly.
So Jimmy and I continue to talk about our plan of attack here, and we decide to do a little equipment swap. Jimmy hands me over the Sony, and then I give him the voice recorder, and we decide to start another EVP session.
Which unfortunately Didn't come up with much, but that's just how this investigation was going. We got more of the video and we got more of the pictures.
We did, and that was okay. We were pretty excited at the time. And as you just seen, I took another photo. And at the time, we didn't really know what we had. Again, we were kind of shocked after we looked at the review later to find this interesting orb capture sitting right next to Jimmy. So after about 30 minutes of not catching anything, Jimmy and I start talking about what we're going to do next.
And at this point, we've caught so many different pieces of evidence. We're past the bewitching hour. We're tired. It's just like, Mike, what you feel, Mike?
I was feeling pretty tired, pretty wore out, pretty exhausted at this point. After all those weird anomalies took place in that one section, that one clearing that we and Jimmy set up in, it was pretty over for me, at least. I was exhausted for not just that time, but for the next couple days to come.
And so was I. Mentally drained, physically drained. It was just, that usually happens after investigations, which, it's common. But, boy, after this point.
It was rough. It was rough. We didn't know exactly what happened. We didn't know if they were maybe feeding off of our energy in order to manifest, to show themselves to us, or what was going on. But it was a pretty mentally and physically draining investigation that gave us really good evidence.
So after this investigation, we decided that maybe we would do a part 2.
Excited about doing a future investigation, Jimmy and I realized for tonight it's time to wrap up this investigation. So we start collecting up the 4K, the 2.7, the 24 megapixel, the SLS portable, and the Sony, and start making our way back towards the van. On our way back towards the van, we noticed that a few of the Omar's batteries were completely drained.
Which is ironic because that's exactly how we were feeling towards the end of this investigation.
And we were wondering if this couldn't have been in part from that situation that took place a little earlier when both of us were feeling hot and cold and all those manifestations were happening and we caught all those different paranomalies on the different pieces of equipment. So we're going to have to dig into this a little bit more and hopefully have some more evidence to reveal to you at a later date.
Thank you for watching Paranormal Anomalies.
And please tune in next week for our next investigation.